Realize when you're hosting your show at your house, you probably shouldn't be late. So, well, hey, good morning, everybody. This is Justice's Waiting Room, a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. I'm your host. My name is Jared, and oh, by the way, the President of the United States, beyond a shadow of a doubt, bare minimum, sucked a cock and does not like that everybody knows. That's where we're starting. hmm Here's what I've learned lately. Some of it is intuition, some of it is just like Mark Epstein said Bubba's not Bill Clinton. Mark Epstein is Jeffrey Epstein's brother. So let's make sure that we get that out there. You heard what I said. Okay. I want you to just sit with it for a moment. I'm good with it. Jeffrey Epstein's brother says Bubba's not Bill Clinton. And then I like to point to things that actually happened that I can say like, hey, this actually happened, and so it makes me believe XYZ. Bill Clinton came out and clearly like they were like Bill Clinton did not have sexual relations with that man, right? Also the most obvious denial in history. Like, would you think Bill Clinton was gonna be like, yeah, yeah, he sucked my dick? Is that what you thought was gonna happen? Even if it had happened. Okay? And something to understand, I want to make sure that we say it loud and fucking proud. Remember that Donald J. Trump was a fucking Democrat for more than 30 years. He gave millions and millions of dollars to Democrats, including Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. Okay? So I want to make sure we beat back the Bill Clinton blowjob rumor. Like, get that out of your gullet. It ain't real. There's no evidence that that is real at all. So if I'm in a room full of people, we're having a conversation, somebody said, Donnie sucked Bill Clinton's cock. No, the fuck he didn't. And there's no evidence of this. Holy shit. Now we're down to two possibilities on this green earth. There are two. And I'm conceding to like a shred of reality. Okay, we're going to save the bestiality for last. Okay? So for everybody in your head that I know of three potential Bubbas. If you know of a fourth, come forth. But as far as I'm concerned, there were three potential Bubbas, and one of them got crossed off the fucking list, and his name was Bill Clinton. Okay? Now, you have to think of the magnitude of his crimes. The million plus people that his decisions led to their untimely death. And ask yourself, the remaining two possibilities are largely it's like some right-wing billionaire whose nickname's Bubba. No, that didn't happen. But a horse. Ghislaine Maxwell had a horse named Bubba. That is bestiality, and that is extreme behavior. And I know that there's people out there that are like, oh, come on, man. Listen, it could just be an instance of his life that he regrets. A bad decision. He was drunk, he was high, he was dared to do it. It doesn't matter. But if there's pictures and video evidence and he tried to hide it, and we had all these data breaches, and he's kind of an older man, And if you understand how extortion works, or fuck any of these fucking criminals that we're up against all over the world, yeah, it's entirely in the it's entirely in his wheelhouse that he was either made to do it, or it was the conditions of a loan, or maybe he couldn't pay a loan and was made to do it, and evidence was created to use to threaten him. To, like, I'm trying to think about plausibility, and I know that plausibility has Bill in it, but that's really the only reference to Bill Clinton in this entire conversation moving forward. I've pushed that out of my. Didn't happen. Bill Clinton said it didn't happen, and Jeffrey Epstein's brother said it didn't happen, and that Bubba is not Bill Clinton. And that left us with two distinct possibilities, and that is, again, like a young, unknown, relatively unknown to all of us, fucking billionaire. Nope. And so now that you just kind of are sitting with it too, and you're like, Jared's right here. Do you think Donald Trump goes to the lengths he goes to hide it if it's just some fucking random guy, some random billionaire? Fuck no. That don't matter. He tried to put out there that he sucked Bill Clinton's dick, and we all know that ain't true. But Donica Lewinsky's great. Like, keep it going. But other than that, here on Earth, where we talk about like things that probably happened, realizing that we don't really know the truth, do I think that 1 million plus people die so that Donald Trump can hide the fact that he blew some random fucking billionaire? Nah. Uh, because I don't think that 1 million plus people die so he could hide that he blew Bill Clinton either. I don't think that's that big a deal. I don't think it's that big a deal that he sucked some other dude's cock either. I think if he blew a horse, 1 million people die to hide it. You goddamn right. Yep. And I'm not thinking like a smart person that I am. Guys, wake up. Fourth grader with dementia. Mm-hmm. Yep. He could be made to do some really depraved shit. Suck a dude's cock for some money? I don't think he did it. Suck a dude's cock named Bill Clinton? I don't think he did it. Catch a face full of goo from a horse? Yeah, 1 million people die to hide it. Because it's so fucking. God, can you imagine how humiliated you'd be if you're the kind of person that has Trump memorabilia? It's basically a cum rag now. If you really want to get down to it. Yeah. I just want to make sure that you sit. Yes, Bubba Salisbury, son of an oil tycoon. Right. Do you think 1 million people die so Donald Trump could fucking hide blowing checks notes Bubba Salisbury? Who? Hell no. How do you blow a horse? I don't know. Ask the president of the United States, Gabby. Or maybe he fucked a horse. God damn. What if he did? Anyway, so I just want you all to know that I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a fantastic day. Um, and I think I really the next words out of my mouth need to be, we need sober friends too that can make sure shit like this isn't happening. About time for a protest, ain't it? Bubba is also a pet name for a little kid. Yeah, but and listen, these people are depraved. Ghislaine and fucking Jeffrey Epstein, when you read their fucking emails, like these are lower forms of life. Uh, I don't think that they were talking about a little kid in that instance. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want to sit in the frame of reality where people are like he didn't blow a horse. It was a child or it was this random fucking billion. No. Think about what you're saying. A million people have died? He blew. What? No. I'm gonna make you sit in this muck with me until it's proven wrong because it fits. It fits him. It fits the scenario. It fits there is a reason. There's a reason that he walked past the American flag looking all dejected and shit. And it's because his worst nightmare has come true and he did something. He forced children to do that to him. Now that's just true. So he also was incredibly cruel and sadistic sexually towards little boys. Uh huh. I wouldn't. I want to say he like fisted a little boy, but that's not exactly what happened. If Putin has dirt on him, it has something to do with oil because that's all Russia has for income. Sure, but I again, I don't think him blowing Bubba Salisbury for $1 is really that big a noise. You know what I'm saying? I think we would have known this. That's just how I feel about the situation. I feel like we would have known about the if he'd have blown like Bubba Salisbury. I feel like we'd have known that. I feel like that would have come out. Let's make sure we listen to War. That was funny, by the way. He said that's just true. No, that shit happened. Hey, let's start out with some decent news. I think India is going to submit updated climate targets to the UN by December. Bhupender Yadav. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he did. I think he did it to live. I think he did it with tears in his eyes. You know what I mean? I'm saying it was a nightmarish situation, and the horse leaned into it. Donald Trump looks like the kind of motherfucker that can unhinge his jaw. You know what I'm saying? He looks like a guy who eats a plate full of hot dogs. What are you talking about? This is a guy dedicated to sausage. Yeah, I just don't. I honestly don't think all of this shit happens because he blew some oil guy. I don't believe that. Nope. I think that video comes out a long time ago. I think he tried to hide the fact that he did it, and we had data breaches, and the Chinese, the North Koreans, the Russians, what Hungary was it? Is it Hungary? Is that the other bad guy? They all got it. All the bad guys have it. That's why he's buddies with all the bad guys. And then all of the like our allies, they're like trying to help Don. Like, hey, you're the president of the United States. You have like the biggest job in the world. There's video of you sucking horse cock out here. we're gonna protect you, Don. That's the thing. All snakes can unhinge their jaw. Yeah, thank you. Twitter is down as of 15 minutes ago. Cloudflare outage. It's exciting, right? They're gonna make Elon Musk, Twitter is anyway, is gonna make Elon no Tesla. Tesla's gonna make Elon Musk a trillionaire. Like they're gonna give him $1 trillion pay package. Twitter's down. It literally cannot be down. That's a problem with Twitter. That's why it needs to just be. Mike said so. That's why I wasn't able to log into my bank. Speaking of which, Twitter is rolling out a bank. I guess I don't have to worry about sharing the show. A Chinese firm bought an insurer for CIA agents, part of Beijing's $1 trillion spending spree. MI5 MPs and peers warned of a China spy risk. Here's a flurry of articles. Donald Trump says he's going to approve the sale of F-35s to Saudi Arabia. That's right. Correct me when I'm wrong, but is Saudi Arabia led by um, one of the original founders of ISIS? Is that who just came to the United States and a total slap in the face to all my buddies? Does Donnie own a ranch? No, but Ghislaine Maxwell had a horse named Bubba. I'm gonna laugh if it's a black horse. That's Here's what I want. I want a massive cocked black horse, and I want the horse to get into it. You know what I mean? And I want that to be why, because I want it to make sense. Because otherwise, all these people died for boring shit. Obvious, obvious news here. Russian intelligence is likely behind all the railway sabotage. Polish railways. Russia is spying on calls between Finland and Russian phone numbers. Hey, just remember you didn't vote for this. Nestle's accused of the risking of health of babies for profit over added sugar in cereals sold in African countries. So not only fuck Nestle, I think we can all agree. They put additional sugar in the cereal they sell to African kids. So, what do you think additional sugar in a food item does? Russian drones strike a Ukrainian public broadcaster's newsroom. You see how Russia is not targeting oil fields. Shit. The UN Security Council has adopted U.S. resolution on Trump's Gaza plan. International Stabilization Force for the Palestinian Enclave. I have a feeling they put international, yeah, unchecked corporations. Hmm. That right there is the face of a very dangerous person. But one of the last dreaded Maoist commanders, Madhvi Hidma, was killed in an encounter on the early hours of Tuesday. Second in command. Key planners of several deadly attacks against security personnel. Ukraine inspects Russia's new Shahed 101 and finds every part is Iranian. Yeah, the Cloudflare outage hit Euromaidan. Japan warns its citizens about safety as a diplomatic crisis widens. Yes. Yep. I I think Nestle is my enemy because I think water should be a human right. Hmm. Yep. I don't buy bottled water. I don't buy. Nope. I have a water filter. I drink water out of a metal container, out of a turbis. Hmm. And Mike, I love that you share that there's a mass blackout November 25th to December 2nd. Let's pull the plug on corporations. I agree. I live this way. Okay. I know that a lot of you are the kind of people to nod along and not the kind of, sometimes not the kind of people to change your behaviors. If you haven't, now is the time. Every day is the day. Stop using Facebook, Threads, IG, Messenger. Get these things off of your phone. They're tracking you. Twitter is down right now. It's awful. Delete it from your phone. Stop using Amazon. You could just do those things. It's that simple. You could just get those things off of your devices. Your every act of living could be in objection to this regime. It doesn't just have to be the 25th to the 2nd. I tell the people that I talk to at work, save your money. The cost of goods rising. Make sure you pay your bills and make sure you're very conscious of their increase and that you are taking steps. Hey man, here's the thing about me. Uh, my electric bill's real low, under $100 a month. How many hundreds of that you think I'm gonna get to before I got a real problem, right? I have the same thing with my water bill, right? That bill's cheap. If shit pops off and starts changing, we have a fucking problem. Exactly. Now, the only thing that my wife and I do is we do DoorDash, trying to support local businesses and take care of people. I'm saying you could just read books for a week. You know what I mean? For entertainment. A lot of people can own, like, think about they made everything cost money, right? You know what used to be the best thing about going out on Monday night and going to a bar and eating a burger and drinking a beer and watching a game? It's cheap. That used to be $10 with a tip. Now they want you to gamble during the game. Now it's $20 because you had to place a bet on it too in order to be able to enjoy it. And seemingly, that's awesome, Gabby. I really only drive to go get the groceries. And my vehicle is 10 years old and paid off. We want to get our credit into position to be able to lease vehicles, like lease a hybrid or lease a. I would love to lease hybrids, my wife and I. That would be ideal. Yeah. 'Nuclear output cut in Ukraine after critical substation hit by Russian attack, IAEA confirms. That's one of the main reasons I'm not really a big fan of nuclear power is because it being like a target. South Korean decision to close all coal-fired power plants by 2040 sounds alarm for Australian exports. 260 attacks alone in October. Violence has increased across the West Bank Palestinian farmers try to harvest their olive trees before the end of the season in the face of a concerted campaign of harassment by groups of armed and aggressive Israeli settlers. My two least favorite words, Israeli settlers. I absolutely do not understand on this green earth what in the Sam fuck makes another person. You could just walk onto someone else's land and be like, this shit is mine now. And not just expect to get gunned down immediately? The fuck? And I don't wanna be the world police, but that's what peacekeeping forces are for. That's what you send in troops for. The US military has been deployed to Israel to apprehend IDF soldiers for their war crimes. Like, think about how good we could be. We need to be more resolute on the front, and we needed to have just eliminated Russia as a world enemy when we have had chances to do so. Yep, fucking pisses me off. I hate it. Like, let me explain something to you, and I'm trying to be funny, so understand this. I got a little bush on my property that it gets real tall, like 3 or 4 feet, and it obstructs the view of those little boxes in your yard, the little power boxes and shit. And I don't maintain it. I just let it go. It's on my land. My neighbor cut that shit off. He cut like three feet of that off. He bagged it the fuck up. I don't know how I feel about it. It's on my land. Why the fuck did you do that? Did you talk to my wife? What got a wild hair up your ass to do that? Right? That you mean it was nice, I guess. Thanks, I think. Do you see how I could really quickly get to the point where I'm like, "Hey, are you mowing on my land? It's not your land." Do you see how? No, no, no. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. My wife was bitching about it. So it was fucking hilarious that my wife was bitching about it and then my neighbor cut it the fuck down and I'm like, am I in a win-win situation here where I didn't have to do the work and that fucking shit got cut down? I don't even know how to feel about it, right? But it's on my land. So like I'm supposed to feel some type of way. It's not the same, but it happened when I was growing up. When I was growing up, there was a lot between us and our neighbors. And our neighbors threw trash in that fucking field all the time. The kids that came hung out with at our house and shit would throw trash in that little field too, and it'd catch on fire every now and then. And you'd have to put out a fucking fire on a lot you didn't fucking own. And neither my parents or the parents or the neighbors next door wanted to buy it because technically it was just like a brush area, you know. But that what you watched over the years was like my dad mow higher up into the brush, and then the neighbor on their side they'd mow closer up onto the brush until they had just like taken over this area, not watching property lines, right? In Israel, they just walk onto your land and kick you out of your house and throw all your shit out in the road. and say, "This is my house. This is my land." Estonia warns that Russia will return with more troops and equipment in 2 years or less. Greece signs. We talked about Greece selling oil and gas now. Ukraine's gonna have a rough winter. I think we talked about them buying Rafale jets yesterday. Ukraine's gonna get 100 of them. 100 French-made Rafale jets. Mike Johnson is jealous of Bubba. You know what is also a probability as well? That there are many men Donald Trump has blown who's he nicknamed Bubba over the course of his life. It turns out there's 100 plus Bubbas. turns out the next Republican convention is a bunch of grown men doing the Spider-Man meme like Bubba? Bubba? Oh my god. Ha 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 ha. Macron announces joint EU-US effort to curb Russia's shadow fleet in oil overseas. Joke's on you, America. There are hundreds of Bubbas. Yeah, hey, just I hope you all are having a great pre-holiday. This is fucking awesome. Like, I'm not a religious person. I don't look forward to anything for Christmas because I'm a normal being and it's not about me. It's about these little kids and making their fucking day better and shit. Um, but yeah, I just had that while we were sitting here. It's like, you know what? But the worst thing isn't that it's a horse. The worst thing is that Bubba is like the entire Republican Party. Like Erica Kirk, every time she sees Donald Trump, she's like, he used to call Charlie Bubba. Like Mike Bubba Johnson, he's gonna get up there acting like he all jealous of fucking Ghislaine Maxwell's horse and shit. Hell no, his nickname's Bubba. I thought I was Bubba. And I'm telling you, the next RNC convention is a bunch of men doing the fucking Spider-Man meme, except they all think that they're Bubba. I mean, I want it to be a black man. Is what I really want. I want it to be like Daryl Strawberry or fucking P Diddy. Puff Bubba Combs. Puff Daddy Bubba Combs. Sean Bubba Combs. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be a black man. Because I want it to be what takes him down, right? Because he's a racist. He's like a terrible racist, right? What could lead to him? What if Bubba is the actor from fucking Green Mile? You know what I mean? I think that that makes me feel even better about the situation because the possibilities are endless. I know it ain't Bill Clinton though, and I'm pretty good with it that it ain't Bubba Salisbury neither. The horse, I buy that. We are Legion, except we are Bubba. and it's the RNC. Oh, I buy that shit too. Because Donald Trump's, yeah, you too can be Bubba. I really want it to be like Daryl Bubba Strawberry. You know what I'm saying? Or Sean Bubba Combs. Oh shit. A new rare earth crisis. God, if this isn't every video game I played in fucking 2010s. Element yttrium are running low due to Chinese export restrictions. Hey, I just want to make sure I also say that somebody said spit in coffee. I want to make sure that I also say this because there are people out here that are twisted. They're just fucked up in the head and they're like, what's wrong with being a throat god or whatever? Um, Let me spin it for you. When I was on active duty, my staff sergeant was filling an officer's role. And so he got to be like all proper and shit and get called fucking sir by other officers. I mean, he's a fucking CWO now, so it fucking fits, right? He's the people that don't get jacked up when a captain walks in the room. They're just like, whatever. Do you have questions for me? Um, it is fucking true. Um, just realized you're 45 seconds behind. What was I gonna say? Nobody likes a dick suck. So for all these people that are like, what's wrong with being the fucking throat god? And it's like, no, you don't understand. You don't want to be the person begging to suck cock. Ba-da! So for all of you that wondered, like, what is an undesirable fucking lifestyle? Try being a a billionaire trying to do some weird shit. You would tell live video game play when you speech to text. Will you be my Bubba? Mm-mm-mm. Like I said, I want it to be like a black athlete, just because I want that to be what takes him down, or a horse, or there's just a whole bunch of people that think they're Bubba. They're like, he called me Bubba. Like, dude, Elon Bubba Musk, Vladimir Bubba Putin, BB Bubba? Huh! Come on. There are 200 fucking men on Earth that have been given the nickname Bubba by Donald Trump. These are the avenues of thought I'm in. Where like, yeah, Bubba could be a horse. Bubba's could be a couple hundred people that Donald Trump's fucking throat fucked over the course of his life. Didn't we call him Pussy Throat? That's what's fucking crazy. We made up. Didn't we make up a cartoon? No, it wasn't a cartoon. It was the fucking James Bond poster, right? Instead of Lashif, it's fucking Pussy Throat and yeah, BB Bubba. Yeah, maybe it's Clarence Thomas. Like, why is he so anti-animal? It broke. Maybe it's because he did some freak shit. Still cheering on the Reaper. Yeah. I mean, death comes for us all, but why not him first? You know what I'm saying? I'm just sad all the people that died before Donald Trump. You know what I mean? All the people that died before Donald Trump. What about Xi Jinping's nickname? Isn't Z Z is his last name, so Jinping is his first name, so Jinping Bubba. Xi Jinping Bubba? Agree. This is exactly what I say. I'm not agreeing with Hamas. Okay? I really think I really think what I need is I need for Gavin Newsom to send personalized knee pads that are rated for a horse to the White House. I need this to happen. Bubba BB, yeah. Bubba could be. Oh, Bubba could be Benjamin Netanyahu. Huh. Uh, that feels like the words. Those feel. That feels like the truth. That felt like really clean coming out. I think I might have just stumbled on who Bubba actually is. It's like it. The way it tasted coming out was like that's correct. I think Bubba might be BB. Time will tell, motherfucker. All right, stop me if you thought this was gonna happen. Rainfall causes floods in part of drought-stricken Iran. Yeah, yeah. Russian troops arrive at the border between Syria and Israel. Oh, that's why cloud flares down. We have no choice. Indigenous guards take on cocaine gangs in Peru's Amazon. Okay. Not gonna lie, that sounds dope. Fire, flood, drought. Fuck, man. Czechs, Slovaks mark the Velvet Revolution with protests in defense of democratic values. Monday celebrated the 1989 Velvet Revolution, which ended decades of communist rule in the former Czechoslovakia, with protests that warned democratic values were once again under threat. Oh, somebody sent me a message on TikTok, I think, and they said a lot of people call themselves communist, and they're not gonna like you. Let me just say that about the only people I've ever met in my whole life that are not likable off rip aren't commies. So just understand, like, if there are people on Earth that if they hear that someone calls themselves a communist, they're their fucking enemy. Okay? Um, I don't think that. I'm enemies with someone that calls themselves a communist. I'm enemies with a capitalist. I'm enemies with someone that says I'm okay with sacrificing as many people as it takes to make this machine work. Okay? That's what a capitalist is. Spare no expense up to including people for the almighty dollar. I am opposed. Uh, I became a socialist reading the socialist economic theory, which says things like taxes, interest, and fucking rent are derivatives of your labor, and you should work to limit them. Oh, oh, okay. I can do that. I can spend the rest of my life trying to limit taxes, interest, and rent. There's me fulfilling the socialist economic model. And then understanding, I just want corporations, I want you to do business with companies that have your back, that are that are unionized. That, you know what I'm saying? Starbucks is on strike right now. Amazon's anti-union, right? I want you to not do business with companies that are anti-union, and I want those companies to go out of business, and I want the companies to replace them that offer the same shit are unionized. Finn, there's socialism running your economy, right? Because again, I'm a syndicalist, which means that in order for us to fix the broken system we live in, obviously you got to do a lot of shit. You got to get rid of Citizens United. That's a good start here in the United States. But more importantly, we have to find future leaders, people that are going to be future elected officials. And it has to be young people that are union like representatives, that are union leaders, not the guys that have been doing it for 40 fucking years. I don't give a fuck if a dude was a pipe worker for fucking 30 years and the last 10 years of his fucking career he started talking. I don't give a shit. I need someone in their fucking 20s that has worked as a pipe fitter or whatever and got into the union and started speaking up for their fucking boys and girls that they work with and shit. Those people are the people that you need to like you need to get a degree in political science. You've been in the muck. You're representing people, right? Already. Those are people like trained to be political leaders, right? Because it's the people that are anti-union that are going to try to knock them off. Oh, they're too young. Oh, they don't have the experience. Apparently, there's an 88-year-old in the state of Indiana that has held public office for over 40 years. And somebody that follows me on TikTok reached out and was like, "You should run for public office against this person." And they're a Democrat. I mean, we limit people's ability to serve in public office. Why are there people that have been in public office for 40 fucking years? If we have no kings fucking protests, should we have a no queens protest? Because there's a queen living in northern Indiana. She is 88 years old. She has spent 40 fucking years in public office. What the fuck is going on? If companies are bosses who do pay their employees fairly and give them what they need, sick vacation leave, they still need to be unionized. Yes. Jobs come and go, companies come and go. What makes it worth it is the union. Like, look, I was buddies with, I haven't really ever told this story. When I first came home for the Marine Corps, the economy was still shitty. Who do you think was out partying and drinking at the bars and shit? Unionized labor. Fucking construction, pipe, fucking welders, fucking you name it. Those are the guys that had the coin to go out and party and shit, right? But if you ask them, like, is the job worth it? No, hell no. Does the job we're staying at? No. What makes it good? Union activities. Hmm. Union activity. My dad was part of NACA, which is the Air Traffic Controllers Union. They were in fucking softball leagues, volleyball leagues, bowling leagues. They went to sporting events. Um, they were a community within a community. The job's not worth it. The job fucking sucks. Working sucks, asshole. Unions are all right. Union activities are all right. You know, I've been to union trips to amusement parks. I've been on union trips to museums, family events, like outdoor ish events. Hmm. And unionized labor supports unionized labor. When you go to like a Colts game or a Pacers game here in Indianapolis, who do you think's got the fucking money to do that in this state that nobody lives in? Union employees. The job sucks. The job's going away. Every 2, 3 years, most people leave their fucking job. But you ask a union member what was good about the job. Dick all. But what was good about the union? Union got us paid, guaranteed our fucking time off, guaranteed our fucking retirement, and every now and then we had union activities. They gave us fucking cookies. What'd your employer do? Pizza? Every quarter? What the fuck? But yeah, if you ask any union employee, like, was it worth being in the union? And 9 times out of 10, they'll say, hell yeah. My money made money. They got us better pay and benefits. There you go, Bob. Bob says when the son or daughter takes over the business, they may not think along the lines of the people that deserve all those things and take away all those things. The union's needed. Yeah. Remember, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So if you don't allow you workers to unionize, are you ensuring your absolute power, and are you ensuring your ultimate destruction? Power of the people, baby. Yep, I hung out with union employees when I first came home for the Marine Corps for like 5, 10 years. It was the union activities that made the job worth showing up to. Because you'd run into guys that you'd seen out. Hey, what's up, man? Dapping them up, like, let's get this job done. You know what I'm saying? You just ask people that were lifelong union members, and they'll tell you, like, oh, what was worthwhile about your career? Dick all. What are you talking about? Oh, you were in a union. Fuck yeah, I was in a union. Yeah, it was great. Met, dude, I can't tell you how many dudes met their wives. Fucking all their friends were in the union. All their outside of work activities were with fellow union members. Now, my dad was an outsider because he was a scab. So he called himself antisocial, and people didn't like him because he crossed a fucking picket line when he could have just waited and got the same job. Probably we would even start. Mom, I heard if he hadn't been a scab, he starts work like 2 weeks later. And he's not a fucking scab, and he doesn't have that on his head his whole life, right? So he wasn't as tied into the to NATCA as he should have been. And still, it was a good thing. Businesses will also overwork you and underpay you in a heartbeat and use you and fucking use you. Jesus Christ. Florida officials say 122 children were rescued from child predators. Operation Home for the Holidays. Morning, everybody. Destroying small business. Remember, there's a reason ICE is doing this. ICE is doing this because it helps big business when small businesses close. The FEMA chief David Richardson is stepping down. Ho. The standard Medicare Part B monthly premium is jumping 10%, 9.7%. $202 a month. Congratulations, you just killed hundreds of thousands of people. It's been as low as like 124. I think it was 184, so this is a jump, considerable jump to 202. Gunmen abduct 25 girls from a high school in northwestern Nigeria and kill one of them. I don't know why that's on like regular news. Why wouldn't we see that in world news? New Orleans man who had his murder conviction tossed wins election as Chiefs city record keeper. I don't know why, but they keep the saying "put your money where your mouth is stuck in my head. I know DJ. Just can't believe all the chaos. Ooh. Trump faces a splintering GOP. I hear ya, Al. Wild times to be. Hell yeah. Politico down as well. This is what I'm talking about. Woo-wee! Bring it on. This is what I want. This is what I want. Ro Khanna says the release of the Epstein files will shock the conscience of this country. I'm about this shit. Thomas Massey is a little suspicious of Trump's reversal on the Epstein files. As we can already tell you, they're going to open an investigation. Donald Trump's going to be like, release Epstein files. Pam Bondi announces there's an investigation. They stop and don't release files. Ta-da! Donald Trump's MAGA secession plan could be under threat. It's all political theater. Can, should, yeah, it should. It should. Here's a story. The EPA moves to limit the scope of clean water law to reduce the amount of wetlands it covers, giving ultimately Nestle more power, right? Trump is trying to turn the tables on the Epstein story. Jeffrey Epstein disclosure faces hurdle, even with House poised to approve release of files. Yeah. Hey, we call it Justice's waiting room because we know that we're ultimately just sitting around waiting on the right thing to happen, right? I just saw a headline after this. Uh, they're saying the sale of those aircraft to Saudi Arabia is massively corrupt. I say, like, it spits in the face of all my dead buddies. All my dead homies. I just can't believe it's gonna. I'm telling you, it's Jeffrey Epstein from the grave. The White House intervened on behalf of accused sex trafficker Andrew Tate during a federal investigation. Fucking crazy, right? Wired.com with the story Social Security data is being shared to target immigrants. Remember, this is a nation of immigrants. This country was built by immigrants. White people, you are an immigrant. Black people, you are very likely an immigrant. The only people that live in the United States that are not the immigrants themselves, as a son or daughter of immigrants, or grandchildren or great grandchildren of immigrants, are literally the indigenous people, the Indians, and technically Mexican people are like this is their land. So I'll never understand how goddamn ignorant you have to be to feel like, oh, we need our sovereignty here in the United States. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are we talking about? Hmm. Yeah, they're loading up private prisons for money because they get paid like $40,000 a day. Billionaire funded AI super PAC picks leading safety advocate as first target. House members are forcing a vote to restore federal workers' union rights. Yeah, you see how he talked to that lady? He called her Piggy on a female reporter. How is this motherfucker in charge, bro? House Democrats press for a vote to bar military action in Venezuela. I want to point out the president slash Department of War, they don't have the ability to declare war. There's a reason that they're not in a war and that we aren't actively doing shit. The State Department deleted records about the risk of inadvertent nuclear war. Yeah, you'd have got held down and smacked the fuck out of if I was around. Sorry, I ain't about that shit. Progressive Afton Ben from Fox News. David Hogg is campaigning for the AOC of Tennessee. Oh, hey, no big deal. Corporation for Public Broadcasting agreed Monday to fulfill a $36 million deal with the NPR. So there's NPR getting funded. Cloudflare, truth out. U.S. plans for indefinite invasion of Gaza, leaving Palestinian side in ruins. Jesus fucking Christ. The U.S. has warned others to avoid loans from Chinese state banks, but it's the biggest recipient of all loans from fucking China. We owe China money. What fuck you mean don't borrow money from them, you dumbass? Donald Trump's gonna fuck up the World Cup. Watch. Yeah, they ran over. Yeah, JD Vance's presidential motorcade literally ran over a cop and just left it. Just left it. Yep. Donald Trump pulled the rug on Mike Johnson. Mike Bubba Johnson. Hey, you know what I would do? You know what I would do if I was dead ass, dead ass. You know what I would do if I was an elected official? This is why I can't run for public office. I would be going into the House of Representatives when they're in session or the Senate when they're in session with a loudspeaker and just go, Bubba, Bubba, and see who turns their head. Oh, 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 sus, all of you. And just walk out. Yeah. This would be very good for me, bad for the value of a college degree. He wants to. They want him to stop these student loan sell-off plans. Just know, um, I work in finance. Okay, I work for Beyond Finance with accredited debt relief and beyond and above lending. Okay, to help people get out of debt. Most of the people that I talk to all day are living paycheck to paycheck and or they're on a fixed income. Most of the people I talk to are looking for a more manageable monthly payment, meaning they're trying to lower their monthly costs. Many of them have several credit cards and personal loans, and we consolidate that all down into one payment. So we lower your monthly payment, we consolidate all your debt, and then instead of, oh, it's going to take the rest of your life to pay this off, oh, there's not interest and about half of the principal on each of these accounts, and you end up being out of debt in the next few years. If that sounds like it would be helpful to you, hit me up. Yeah, I try not to give people that are traitors any space. So people like Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ben Shapiro, Nick Fuentes, they don't hold any space for me. So no, I didn't know. I don't care what those people have to say. They are traitors. Hmm. And we are giving them credibility and space and views and likes and comments, and we're just allowing these people to just have like such an awesome presence in our lives. And what are they giving you? Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations with people that are afraid. Trump and Mamdani are going to meet in Washington. Yeah, that's the one thing that I talk to my clients about. You certainly can't pay more, right? Getting a loan isn't an option. And I'm really sorry Cloudflare really fucked up our mojo. I don't understand. I believe she's what's called an Uncle Tom. Aunt Tamina. Yeah, because Zoran Mamdani is a handsome fellow. But yeah, a reason I was kind of talking about my job is because frequently I talk to people that have student loans. Frequently I talk to people that have like Department of Education or federal loans that my company that we can't negotiate with that. If this regime tries to move to sell off private student loan federal student loans to private equity, those private equity companies they will negotiate. And what this means for people is that you get to eliminate the interest and about half the principal on your student fucking loans and stand a snowball's chance of hell of getting out of debt completely in your lifetime. That's how dumb this motherfucking country is right now. They're almost doing it. But yeah, also he doesn't have the power of the purse. That's a good question. Why did federal immigration agents expand their enforcement to Charlotte and Raleigh? Hmm? The mayor said Monday that she was gonna do fucking nothing. Neither is known for wading into national political battles. GOP Governor Josh Stein, in particular, has tried to get along with the GOP controlled state legislators. Nope. If you're at a table with 9 Nazis and there aren't 8 dead Nazis and one you're fist fighting, you are at a table full of Nazis. Trump just nominated an anti Cloudflare error. Not gonna lie, it's killing my vibe. Interesting New York Times story. Trump has the power to release the Epstein files with or without Congress. Doge took the funding for Snap. Probably probably Elon Musk. But I thought Snap payments were being paid. Donald Trump says he's sending out $2,000 checks mid 2026. Oh, somebody was asking about Klan presence in Raleigh. No, let's go back. Why did he move to Raleigh? Did it say in the article? Maybe focusing on a place where politics is less outwardly bloody was part of the equation. They're not interested in just deporting people, they're interested in a show. Stoking fear and division in your communities. I think they moved on. I think they moved on from Charlotte because they weren't getting anything. Because Charlotte is fucking quiet. I spent a week in Charlotte as an adult in the last few years, and downtown Charlotte is fucking quiet. And I was there for an annual coaches clinic. There were thousands of fucking football coaches all over Charlotte, and Charlotte was dead quiet the whole time we were there. Yeah. So keep in mind, Donald Trump's Justice Department is suing to block California law that prevents ICE agents from masking themselves and hiding their identity. Florida lawmakers are going to try to gerrymander mid decade. Keep in mind these efforts have largely failed, as Donald Trump is a massive fucking failure. Everything he does is wrong. Saying Ted Cruz is going to run for president. One president all time had a PhD. Did you know that? 5 presidents had never been elected to public office before becoming presidents. 32 presidents had previous military experience. So the most common denominator between presidents is that they're either veterans or lawyers. More likely that they're veterans than lawyers. Do I have to move to Lafayette to run for office in Lafayette, Indiana? Yeah, Cruz is toast. He's losing to everything. All right, a little bit of Eat the Rich. Get out of here. Beautiful Tuesday. Appreciate your time. Oh, Ted Cruz. That's it. I mean, there's nothing likable about him. All right. Let's look at the weather today. Hey, we're gonna get some precipitation. It's that time of year. It was raining this morning when I took the dogs on a walk. Uh, We walked the same distance. We just might have done it with a little more. Hey, let's get the fuck through it. You know what I mean? My dog's favorite thing in the world is to be dried off with a towel. So if you wondered how my dogs felt about going on a walk this morning, understand that they love going on a walk. Might be their favorite fucking thing in the world, but they love getting fucking dried off with a towel even fucking more than that. So, dogs were all about the walks this morning. Here in the United States, in northwest Washington, there's some snow. In southern California and Arizona and Utah and Nevada, there's rain. Hey, they had flash floods in Cali, looking like it's going to hit too. Okay. Now, that looks like storms in southern Montana and Wyoming, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Indiana, and Ohio are really getting it. Detroit's getting some snow. I think we just got rain here in Indy, a little bit in Illinois. Looks, what is that? West Virginia? Yeah. So as the rain moves east, it's turning into snow. So a little bit of mix. But other than that, lots of the United States is really clear right now, and really it's Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Utah, Arizona, Nevada, California, and Washington State. Okay, okay, and Iowa and Minnesota, and so keep your head on a swivel. No surprises, right? Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.